Let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered if your choices could lead to entirely different lives in alternate worlds? What if, every time you made a decision, another version of you branched off, living the road not taken? This isn't just science fiction anymore. It's a theory rooted in one of the most fascinating aspects of modern science: quantum mechanics. And trust me, once you begin to understand its implications, you'll see reality in an entirely new way. Let's start with the many worlds interpretation. Back in the 1950s, a physicist named Hugh Everett III proposed that every quantum event, the smallest, most fundamental occurrences in the universe, splits reality into different possibilities. Imagine flipping a coin. In one universe, it lands heads. In another, it's tails. Now multiply that by every single decision made by every atom since the dawn of time. Mind-blowing, right? This theory suggests there could be countless versions of you out there, each living a life shaped by different choices, circumstances, or even entirely different rules of physics. Here's where it gets interesting. Science is beginning to catch up with these ideas. Take quantum superposition, the strange phenomenon where particles exist in multiple states at once until observed, or quantum entanglement, which Einstein himself called spooky action at a distance, where particles remain connected across vast distances, influencing each other instantly. These discoveries suggest that the universe might be far stranger and more interconnected than we ever imagined. Now, you might be thinking, this is fascinating, but how does it relate to me? Excellent question. To ground this in your everyday life, think of it like this. If these parallel realities exist, what's stopping you from reaching across the divide? Could there be a way to glimpse, or even interact with, the version of you who took that job offer, said yes to that relationship, or pursued that long-forgotten dream? Here's a practical way to start connecting with this idea. Grab a notebook and list a few moments in your life where you faced a crossroads. For example, maybe you chose one career path over another, or moved to a new city instead of staying put. Now, imagine what your life might look like in the alternate version. What kind of lessons could that parallel you teach you? What wisdom could you offer them? This exercise isn't just fun. It primes your mind to think beyond the limits of your current reality. As we explore deeper, remember this: the multiverse isn't just a theory for scientists to debate in laboratories. It's an invitation for you to think expansively, to imagine that your potential extends beyond the limits of what you see in front of you. But if science lays the foundation, what role does your mind play in connecting these worlds? Could your consciousness itself be the key to opening the portal? Let's find out. What if I told you that the most advanced tool for exploring parallel realities isn't a machine or a telescope, but something you already possess? Your mind. Yes, your consciousness is far more powerful than you've been led to believe. While science provides the foundation for understanding parallel realities, consciousness is the bridge that could connect you to them. Let me explain. Your mind operates much like a radio. Imagine for a moment that there are infinite frequencies all around you. If you tune your radio to the right station, you hear music. But if you don't, all you get is static. Similarly, your consciousness may have the ability to tune in to alternate dimensions or versions of yourself. The question is, are you ready to learn how to adjust the dial? Think about altered states of consciousness, moments when your mind seems to operate outside its usual parameters. You've probably experienced some of these states before, maybe without even realizing it. Have you ever had a vivid dream that felt more real than reality? Or experienced déjà vu so intense that it left you questioning your own memory? These phenomena may hint at your mind briefly accessing alternate realities. Now, let's talk about how you can explore this further. One of the simplest yet most profound tools at your disposal is meditation. Meditation isn't just about relaxation. It's about training your mind to focus and expand beyond the physical. Here's a beginner-friendly exercise to get you started. 1. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and take a few deep breaths. 2. Visualize yourself in a vast, dark space, almost like a starry sky. Now imagine a glowing doorway in front of you. This doorway represents a portal to another version of you. 3. As you walk through the doorway in your mind, ask yourself, what does my parallel self want to show me? Allow images, feelings, or thoughts to come naturally. Don't force anything, just observe. You might not get a clear answer right away, and that's okay. The point is to open your mind to the possibility of connection. Over time, this practice can sharpen your ability to perceive insights from beyond your current reality. Another fascinating tool is lucid dreaming, where you're aware that you're dreaming and can actively shape the experience. Lucid dreams are like a sandbox for exploring alternate realities, because the boundaries of the physical world don't apply. To encourage lucid dreaming, keep a dream journal by your bed and write down everything you remember as soon as you wake up. This trains your brain to notice patterns in your dreams, making it easier to become conscious within them. But what's even more intriguing is the idea that your thoughts and emotions might already be acting as a bridge between realities. Ever noticed how certain feelings, like love, fear, or curiosity, can seem to transcend time and space? It's almost as if they resonate on a frequency that connects you to something greater. To tap into this power, practice aligning your emotions with your intentions. For instance, if you're seeking guidance from your parallel self, approach it with curiosity and openness, rather than skepticism. This is where things get exciting. If your mind is capable of accessing alternate frequencies, what else might it be able to do? Could it not only observe but influence other realities? And what happens when you start to notice signs, subtle yet unmistakable, that the connection is real? Keep this thought in mind as we move into the next phase, where we'll explore practical techniques for opening the portal and reaching across dimensions. Now that you understand the role of consciousness as a gateway, let's move from theory into action. If the idea of connecting with your parallel self has sparked curiosity in you, it's time to explore practical techniques, tools that can help you experiment with opening this portal. These methods combine science, mindfulness, and imagination, creating a blend of the tangible and the mysterious. Ready to take the leap? Let's dive in. First, let's start with visualization, one of the simplest yet most powerful tools for connecting with alternate realities. Think of it as a mental rehearsal, a way of creating a bridge through the power of focused thought. Here's an exercise you can try tonight. 1. Close your eyes and picture yourself standing in front of a mirror. But this isn't just any reflection, it's your parallel self. Take a moment to notice the details. Does this version of you look slightly different? Maybe they're dressed in a way that reflects a life you've never lived, or they're surrounded by objects that hint at another path. 2. Ask your reflection a question. What do you know that I need to learn? Wait and observe. Don't rush or force the answer. Let it come naturally, as if you're receiving a message from another dimension. 3. After the exercise, write down any insights, feelings, or images that came to you. Even if they seem random or unclear, keep a record. Sometimes the meaning becomes evident later, like solving a puzzle piece by piece. Another technique involves sound frequencies. Have you ever heard of binaural beats? These are specific audio frequencies that can influence brainwave activity, helping you access altered states of consciousness. When you listen to two slightly different frequencies in each ear, your brain creates a third frequency, called a binaural beat, which can guide your mind into states like relaxation, focus, or even lucid dreaming. To experiment, search for binaural beat tracks designed for meditation or exploration of alternate realities. Try listening during a quiet moment, and let your mind drift toward the possibility of connection. Journaling is another indispensable tool. But this isn't ordinary journaling. It's a way of tuning into patterns and synchronicities that might hint at your parallel self. Start by noting moments of déjà vu, vivid dreams, or coincidences that feel too precise to ignore. For example, have you ever had a sudden knowing that didn't come from your experiences? Or stumbled upon ideas that feel familiar, as though you've always known them? Document these moments in a parallel self journal. Over time, you may notice recurring themes or messages. One more powerful tool is creative expression. Believe it or not, art, writing, or even movement can act as a channel between realities. When you let your creativity flow without overthinking, you might be surprised by what emerges. Could it be a message from your parallel self, guiding your hands or words? For example, try free writing for 10 minutes each day without a plan. Just let the words spill onto the page. You may find thoughts, ideas, or even stories that feel like they're coming from somewhere beyond your conscious mind. And finally, consider the role of synchronicity, those meaningful coincidences that seem too aligned to be random. Pay close attention to repeating numbers, symbols, or events in your life. For instance, if you frequently see the same number sequence, like 1111 or 333, consider what you were thinking or feeling in that moment. Could it be a sign from your parallel self, urging you to look closer? As you experiment with these techniques, remember that the journey itself is just as important as the destination. Stay open, curious, and patient. The portal doesn't always reveal itself immediately, but every small step brings you closer. And once you begin to notice signs of connection, glimpses of something greater, you'll wonder, could the boundaries between realities be thinner than they seem? That's where we're heading next, exploring how to recognize the subtle signs that your parallel self is reaching out to you. Have you ever experienced a moment so strange, so perfectly timed, that it felt like the universe was trying to tell you something? Maybe it was an odd coincidence, a gut feeling you couldn't ignore, or a dream that felt too vivid to be just a figment of your imagination. What if I told you these could be more than mere chance? What if these are signs that your parallel self is trying to connect with you? Let's start with déjà vu. You've felt it before, that eerie sensation that you've lived a moment before, even though you know you haven't. Science has its theories, memory glitches, brain processing delays. But what if déjà vu is something far deeper? Imagine, for a moment, that it's a ripple between your reality and another. Maybe your parallel self has already lived that moment, and the memory is crossing over, like an echo. The next time you feel déjà vu, pause. Reflect on the situation. Ask yourself, what is this moment trying to tell me? Dreams, too, are one of the most common and overlooked ways your parallel self might reach out. Dreams blur the lines between your subconscious and the infinite possibilities of other dimensions. Have you ever dreamed of being someone else, living a different life, yet somehow knowing it was still you? These aren't just random fantasies. They could be glimpses of parallel realities. To explore this further, start a dream journal. Each morning, write down everything you can remember. Over time, patterns or symbols might emerge, pointing you toward the messages hidden within. And then there's intuition, that inexplicable knowing that something is right or wrong, even when logic suggests otherwise. You might think of intuition as your inner voice, but what if it's also the voice of your parallel self? Imagine another version of you who's already faced the challenge you're currently grappling with. What if they're sending you a nudge, a whisper of guidance? To strengthen this connection, practice trusting your gut feelings. The next time you face a decision, pause. Instead of overthinking, ask yourself, what does my intuition say? Trust it. See where it leads you. Now, let's talk about synchronicities, those seemingly random coincidences that feel anything but random. Maybe you keep seeing the same numbers everywhere, like 11:11 on the clock, or you hear a song lyric that perfectly answers a question you've been pondering. Some might dismiss this as confirmation bias, but what if synchronicities are breadcrumbs left by your parallel self, guiding you towards something greater? For instance, if you've been wondering about a new career path and suddenly encounter multiple signs pointing to it, an article, a stranger's conversation, or even a dream, don't brush it off. Write it down. Act on it. Even physical sensations can be a clue. Have you ever felt an unexplained shiver, a tingle on your skin, or a sudden rush of emotion that didn't seem to belong to the moment you were in? These sensations might be your body's way of picking up on energetic shifts, a resonance with your parallel self. The next time this happens, stop and reflect. Ask yourself, what am I feeling? What's happening around me? The more you pay attention, the more you'll notice these subtle signals. But here's the thing. Recognizing these signs isn't just about observation, it's about intention. When you actively open your mind to the possibility of connection, you train yourself to notice what others might overlook. This isn't about paranoia or overanalyzing. It's about curiosity and awareness. And as you start noticing these signs, you might begin to wonder, if your parallel self is reaching out, what are they trying to tell you? This question leads us to an even deeper mystery. What happens if you not only recognize the signs but respond to them? Could you create an ongoing dialogue with your parallel self, exchanging wisdom across dimensions? Let's explore how you can take the next step in this extraordinary journey. So, you've begun to notice the signs, the whispers of intuition, the vivid dreams, the synchronicities that seem too precise to ignore. But recognizing these signals is only the beginning. What if you could do more than just observe? What if you could actively respond, creating a two-way dialogue with your parallel self? Let's explore how to take this leap and build the bridge between you and another version of reality. The first step is setting your intention. Intention acts as the foundation for any meaningful connection. Think of it like dialing the correct frequency on a radio. You can't tune in if you don't know the station. Start by asking yourself, why do I want to connect with my parallel self? Is it to gain clarity, to understand your life's purpose, or to unlock a hidden potential? Write this intention down and revisit it often. This clarity acts as a signal to your subconscious and, perhaps, to the other version of you, making your communication more direct and focused. Once your intention is set, create a sacred space for the connection. This doesn't have to be elaborate, just a quiet, distraction-free environment where you can focus. Light a candle, play soothing music, or use incense if it helps you feel grounded. These rituals aren't magical in themselves, but they prime your mind to enter a receptive state. If you prefer something more scientific, consider using sensory deprivation techniques, like sitting in a dimly lit room with noise-canceling headphones. The goal is to silence the external world so you can tune into the internal. One powerful method to establish communication is through guided visualization. Imagine yourself standing on a bridge that spans across two worlds. On one side is the life you know, on the other is the unknown, the reality of your parallel self. Visualize stepping across this bridge, feeling the shift in energy as you approach your other self. See them clearly. What do they look like? How do they stand? Now, imagine starting a conversation. Ask them, what wisdom do you have for me? Or what path should I take next? Trust whatever response arises, whether it's a thought, an image, or even just a feeling. Journaling is another essential practice for deepening this connection. But this isn't ordinary journaling, it's interactive. Try this. Write a question in your journal as if you're addressing your parallel self directly. For example, what is the one thing I'm not seeing clearly? Then pause, clear your mind, and write the first response that comes to you. Don't overthink or edit. Just let the words flow. Many people report that these automatic writings often reveal insights they weren't consciously aware of. You can also strengthen the bond through mirror work. Stand in front of a mirror, look into your own eyes, and speak as if you're addressing your parallel self. Yes, it might feel strange at first, but there's something powerful about seeing yourself while opening this dialogue. Ask questions or share your thoughts aloud. For instance, you could say, "I'm ready to receive your guidance. What should I know right now?" Pay attention to any sensations, emotions, or thoughts that arise as you do this. Another tool is meditative dreaming. Before going to sleep, set a clear intention to connect with your parallel self in your dreams. Whisper to yourself, "Tonight, I will meet my parallel self. I am open to their guidance." Keep your journal by your bed, and as soon as you wake up, write down every detail you remember, no matter how small. Over time, you'll likely notice patterns or recurring symbols that hint at deeper messages. Finally, practice gratitude and openness. If you start receiving messages, whether through dreams, intuition, or synchronicities, acknowledge them. Even a simple "thank you" spoken aloud can reinforce the connection. Gratitude strengthens the energy of communication, making it easier for more insights to flow. But here's where things get truly fascinating. What happens when this connection grows stronger? Could you not only communicate but collaborate with your parallel self? Could their wisdom influence your decisions, shaping your reality in profound ways? What does it mean for your current life, and the infinite versions of you that exist across dimensions? These questions lead us to the ultimate mystery, the nature of reality itself and the power you hold within it. What happens next is up to you to discover.